Okay then. So the prelim report on card counting looks really dire. It's only about 600, maybe 650 rounds so far, which experts and all the guys at Blackjack Apprenticeship and so on will dismiss as being non-representative and just irrelevant and anecdotal and all of the things that the mathematicians love to throw at any kind of suggestion that casino table games or any games in a casino can be beaten. And so I thought what I'd try to do is to be a little bit more rigorous about checking the card count. I'm trying to figure out how to do it, and I'm bumbling a little bit here, but at least along the way, I'll be getting more records for the blackjack file. And anybody who has any doubts about the accuracy of the Wizard of Odds Sims card counting needs to just check it themselves. I mean, you guys at Blackjack Apprenticeship, just download this damn thing. Well, not download it, just play it online and try and fault it, try and catch it out and making a mistake. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have your work cut out because this is quite amazingly accurate, although it's not that amazing because it is only numbers. So once you put an algorithm in there, there are no lies, there are no mistakes, there's no fiddling, fakery, fraud, or whatever. And I think this is the hard thing, of course, that the so-called experts, the guys that I call mathematicians, that's what they struggle with is well, all I can say while I'm losing my drift is that anybody who has any doubt can just step up and instead of mouthing off at me, just do a decent job. So obviously, what I've got to do is I've got to record each bloody round, and I'm trying to figure out how to organise my desk here so that I can do that because it ain't easy. All right. See, the running count is -2, which is accurate because 8 and 9 don't count, and the jack and the ace are -1 each. So that's why we now get a running count of -2, but still a true count of 0. So what are we going to do now? We're going to do 50. I know there's a way for me to do this efficiently, but I haven't figured out what it is yet. Okay, so we've still got that's dealer 50, still a true count of 0 for the next round, and the next bet is 200, and that's a double down. Okay, it's saying hit, but that doesn't feel right to me. Well, obviously they were right and I was wrong. So that's N 200, and running count is +1, but true count is 0, and true count is all we care about. True count, of course, is derived by taking the running count and then dividing it by the number of decks left. And so obviously 1 divided by 7.71 is butt kiss. Okay, so I screwed that one up. So the next bet is going to be 25. Dropping. That's another double down. Not doing well with those double downs, am I? That's another drop bet. Damn. And we're still getting no turbo. I don't know what's going on there. But it actually makes it a bit easier for me now that I'm doing this. Um, that was 0. Now the true count goes to 1. That's a repeat. Alrighty. So that's 25 to player. So now we're at, let me see. I think we've got to go to 6-4 because we lost that double down 200. And the true count remains 1. And we're betting 400. This has slowed me up considerably, but you can speed up. I mean, you've got that ability. Okay, so that's plus 400. And now it's 2-3, and the true count is still 1. I'm going to do an extended thing here, and like I say, you can speed up, but this is to just check the whole counting thing, because everybody raves about that. And there's all this stuff about, is counting even legal, because the casinos have a right to win, and if a player has a means of circumventing that right, then I mean, what a load of utter bollocks, really. Dear me, 2-3 for the turnaround. Oh shit, I'm going to hit that. It didn't make any difference, did it? So now we're on 5-6, and the true count remains 1. Damn it. All right. 5-6 gets us out of there with not much profit, but it's a profit. That's the difference between the way that most people play, this random betting against random outcomes, and this systematic thing. Because what we have here is dealer, dealer, lost double, dealer, player, dealer, player. And we've got a profit. So that's, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's sort of like 3 wins and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses, and we've still got a profit. So, I mean, come on, people. All right, so the true count remains 1. The bet is 25. I think I can make this work. It's actually quite good. It's lots of jobs rolled into one kind of thing, so. Okay, so the next one is 50, and the true count remains 1. Very interesting. Okay, because that's minus. Yeah, see, the running count is all the way up there at 7. But we don't care about that. We're dividing that 7 by 6.88, which gives us 1. So that's fair enough. Anyway, so we got a blackjack there. The next bet is 50. That's a bit problematical, isn't it? So that's a dealer win. And the true count is still 1. And the bet is 100. Second. That's a wash. So the next bet is 200, and we're still at plus 1. Okay. Oh, bugger. Okay, well, we don't double after 100. I mean, in response to a push. If the bet's 100 or less, then we double after a push, but otherwise we leave the damn thing alone. Okay, so we're now at plus 2 true count. The bet remains 200, so we'll do that. It's unfortunate. Oh, look at that. Very unfortunate. Okay, so that's a wipeout. Now I've forgotten where I am. I think it must be 4-5. The true count is still 1. We'll go 4-5. It doesn't really matter in the end because we're just going to kick ass in the end. So maybe not with this hand. Talk about beating me up for getting cheeky. Okay, so that's 4-5, which is 9-5, and we're dropping, and the true count remains 1. Still on the drop, doodad, and now the true count goes to 2. Well, we managed to do that one. Okay, so player, the true count is still 2, and the bet was 9-5, so we're back to 500. Oh dear. 14-10. I should run away over that, but I'm not going to do any runaways in this session, in this extended session, which I will break up, I think. So that's 14-10. I'm just going to soldier on, and then I'll switch when I have to, when I run out of money here. 14-10, and that's second. Okay, so that's 1,000 there, and we got that. And the true count is still 2, so now we're on 4-5. Okay, 500 dealer. Now the true count has gone to 3, and it's 9-10 again, in hundreds rather than. So this is a turnaround bet. Oh boy. That was a lucky one. Okay. So that's a yes on the big fat bet. True count was 3 and remains 3. So we came out of that one all right. There we go. Roll over. Just use your speed up buttons, please, for the sake of your own. And you can jump ahead. I'll try and figure out a way to put chapters in that make this a little easier to deal with. Okay, so that was a very nice turnaround with a bonus because we got the double down into 1,000. And that's always a good thing. Okay, so yeah, the turbo has just disappeared. It's just bizarre. All right, so that was 25 to the dealer. True count drops to 2. We are betting 50. All right, so we got our 50 player. I'll repeat that, and the true count is. See, it's good here doing it this way because there's no confusion. I can see the true count before the next round, which is obviously where it matters. You don't want the count after, you want it before. Okay, so the next bet is 50. All right, so we lose that one. The next bet is 100. The count has dropped to 1. Alright. That's a player deal. And that's a repeat of the 100. And the count is still 1. Forgive me for talking to myself, but I'm trying to stay on top of this thing. That was a lucky bust for us. So player, that rounds that out. And the true count is 1, and the bet is 25. Okay, dealer got that one. Next bet is 50. True count is 2. I'm done. Well, I want to be fair to the count, you know. I think that's a split. Very definitely. I deserve to win this. Me and my big mouth. Oh dear. That's a no. Okay. That's an N for bloody sod in hell. Okay, so that I think that's going to be 2-3, and the count ahead of time, ahead of the bet, ahead of the deal is true count is 3, and the bet is 300. 1, 2, 3. Maybe. Okay. So that worked out. Next bet 25. True count still 3. Well, it's a slow process, ain't it? Alright, so that's a yes. And next bet is 50 and TC3. That's a blackjack. Next bet is 75. TC3. Oh, I've got to stand on that first. Be careful about that. Okay, so that was a player win. Next bet is 100. I'm getting into the swing of this now. It's slow, but like I say, you've got your speed up buttons there, so you're better off than me. And that's another player. My next bet is 125. Count is 2. Yeah, this I think is a more comprehensive study of the count. So I'm going to run this for quite a while. This is going to be quite a long one, I think. But I'm up for it, even if you aren't. So we go to plus max here. Well, okay, well, we repeat that. Count 3. Okay, so we got that back, so we call that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's all right. Back to 25. True count 3. Next bet 50. True count doesn't seem to be changing much, but look at the running count up there. It's nuts. But you know, I mean, you doubters out there, just do a bit of work, for goodness sake, instead of flapping your lips. Put your brains to work. All right. That was clever. Next one is 75. Still on 3. Good gracious. Next 100. Still on 3. Oh, that's nice. Thank Plus Max is next. And you can go as high as you like on a win progression. I just prefer not to be ridiculously greedy. So we stay on that. Count drops to 2. And we have to stand first. I can't get used to that. All right, so it's that again. Oh my goodness. So we're going to chase that one. Yes. There we go. Okay, so we're good with that. And now we've lost the count, gone down to 25. All right, I'll get this down soon. It'll be a little tidier. We've only done 40-some bets, but we're doing all right. We're at 2,550. So, I mean, if anybody has any doubts about pattern betting, I hope that they're getting, getting chased away, put it that way. Okay, so, alright, so that's a dealer, and 50, and 1. And that's a blackjack, and a repeat, and 0 in the TCs. So we just, oh God, I've got to stand again. I keep forgetting that. It's just so ridiculous. $22 is always good. See, and this is these bloody games they've got now in Nevada. 22 dealers 22 is a push. I mean, what a bloody, and then they pretend that they're legitimate businessmen for the good of society and bloody. What a load of utter crap. Oh, they are thieves. Was it a boxer who didn't like the decision against him when he lost on points? He said, well, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask. And for you Americans, Dick Turpin was a famous highwayman back in the 18th, 17th century, somewhere around there, who used to sort of like terrorize coach riders. And he wore a mask. And he says, oh, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask. So that was a bust. So that's a player deal. And now we go to 75. And we've still got a count. I'm sorry this is so slow, but there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, so that's a player. And the next bet is 100. And now the count goes to 2. Alright, dealer. We repeat the 100 and the count is 1. Okay, the bugger got us again. So now we're on 2, 3. And the count goes to 2. Damn it. Okay, the 300 was a loser. Next bet is 25, and the count is Zippola. Next player. Next bet is so we're on 5-3. I'm not doing a drop. I should have done a drop. Oh, I did do a drop. What am I talking about? See, I do these things so automatically now. It's okay. So we were on 2-3 before. So now we're on 5-3. That didn't work, did it? So now we're on 8-6. And we're still no count. 8-6. We'll take that, thank you. And now 2-3. And the count is -1. I think that's the first time it's gone 0, isn't it? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. What was the bet there? Oh, we want to clear that, and we're on 2-3. Little one. No, not right. Oh, maybe. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so that's player. We end this one. Next bet is 25. Count 0. I really am getting into the swing of talking to myself, aren't I? Well, that was a jammy one, wasn't it? Player 0-50. Nice try up there. Player 75. TC1. Slow but steady wins the race. That's a dealer jobby. So we repeat that one. Oh no, I think that's 75. It's 1-2. If it has 3 wins behind it, then you repeat it. If it's only 2 wins behind it, then it becomes 1-2. That makes sense, doesn't it? Count is TC is bugger all. So 1-2 is the bet. Oh dear. That's dealers. So 3-4, third. Count 1. Biggie. Oh dear. You always want the biggie when you need it the most. So 7-4, drop. It's also a shuffle. Not that it makes any difference. It really makes zero difference. 25 is the next bet, and obviously it's no count. So it's 25. Okay, so that was a player. 3-4, so it's 7. So the bet reverts to 400. Count still 0. 3, 4. That should be lucky. That was lucky. Okay, that was a good one. So I think where we're at there is, let's see. Yeah, that zeroes us out, and the count is 0. Back to the minimum. Oh dear. 50 is the next bet. Count is 1. That's a player, and that's a repeat, and the count is 0. I don't always know what. I don't read this thing up here. I just don't read it. You know, and it's there, and it's a bloody nuisance. But I don't read it because it's irrelevant to me. You know. That was definitely a dealer. So the next bet is 100, and I will stop this because I need to prepare a new page. All right, so here we are with part 2, and it's 5100, and the count is 0. That didn't work. And now it's 2, 3, and the count is 0. Oh dear, I don't like that. 5, 3, and we're dropping to 25, and we're still on 0. Where's my bloody turbo? Okay. So we're still on 5, 3, and 0. Eh. 8, 6, and 0. Well, that's a split, ain't it? Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. Oh, dear, oh, dear. And it's the kind of thing that happens all the time. And it's, you know, it's these pricks who tell me that this is a rigged. I mean, okay. So 8, 6 is now, and I'm not pausing in this particular demo. 8, 6, so we just lost 12. So that's 20, 12, which is 2, 1.5. But I think we need to call that 2, 2 in hundreds. Third. And the true count remains 0. Oh, bloody hell. Maybe. Oh, no. Oh. And that would be a push. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? And these guys on YouTube, they promote this shit. You know, I mean, they sort of like, Yeah, this is this great new game. I mean, good grief, guys. Come on. Okay, so 2-2. So we 4,000 and that saved our profit of 3,175. So I don't think that's such a terrible deal, do you? Back to 25, TC 0. Starting a new run now. And falling back to the minimum is just so important. It's everything. Alexa, stop. Oh, I'm going to have to get me a second cup of coffee in a minute. That's going to be another pause. 50, still 0. Oh, 75. That was clever. I wish I knew how to do that again. True count goes to 1, bet goes to 100. Well, I rather like this way of doing things, actually. Because at least for the blackjack fans out there, it's a kind of a... So now the bet goes to plus max, and it's a TC1. And you can bet a lot more if you want to keep going in a winning streak like this. That's just my preference. Oh, nicely done. Another push. Okay, so we stay on 125, stay on TC1. Oh my goodness. All right, I like that. TC1. Because doing it this way, it's sort of a blend of all the things that I need to do. Oh, another push, dealer 22. I mean, what a load of utter bollocks. Okay, now was that a double? It must have been, yeah. TC goes to 2. Repeat the bet. Okay. Repeat the bet. TC drops to 1. 9? All right. Okay, so it's dealer. Well, we got lots of 1-2-5s there, so we just dropped to the min. We are not greedy. TC2. And 25. It's a number of 22s the dealer's getting these. All of a sudden, it's just hilarious. Oh, that's what we need to see. Yeah, next they'll come up with a new game in Las Vegas. Dealer bust is a push. Any dealer bust. And Christ, they have absolutely no morals whatsoever. What was that? That was a yes, wasn't it? And the next bet is 75. TC2. That's a player. Next bet is 100. 2. Oh dear. Okay, next we just repeat that one and hope that we can recover it. Count is still positive. Running count up there is 8. Isn't that lovely? Repeat. That's not looking good, is it? Okay, so that's another dealer. So now we're on 2, 3, and still 2. Okay, so 2, 3, so 5, 3, and drop, and the count is 2. Dealer, still 2. Okay, so we got a yes out of that. We're back to 300, aren't we? 5, 3, still 2. Oh, 8, 6, 2. Oh boy. Oh, I'm going to go through the motions here. Okay, so we're going to need to call this one 14, 15, still 2. Dealer 22 again. So we got that one, and we're out. We're at 4,275 ahead at the moment. Back to 25, TC2. Yeah, I think this is going to be a useful exercise. Why didn't I think of this before? Duh! Okay. Blackjack, 50, TC2. I keep forgetting the stand thing. It's just so silly that, you know. And that's a player. Next bet is 75. TC1. They beat me. Okay, that's only got 2 wins behind it, so that becomes 200. TC1. Oh boy. That might work. I like that. Okay, yes. Y is for double down. 25. TC2. Okay, so we go back to our minimum. Very important. I kind of like doing this because I really did need to address this question of the count, about which I've always been dubious, as I've said many times. It just smells of a casino kind of thing, where they put out this myth that the game can be beaten, so people try it and fail dismally, but think that they're at least being scientific and mathematical and numerate and clever about it while emptying their wallets on the table. I mean, Jesus, it's tough. Okay, so we're on 50, and the count is 2. Another one? I think that's a little rude myself. So we're definitely at 200 now. And the count drops to 1. Ugh. Maybe. Don't believe it till you see the whites of their eyes, as they say. Okay, so that was a goodie. So we turn around 25. Count is 1. Cannot overstress the importance of going back to 20. I mean, even though sometimes it's annoying because then you get a blackjack. Okay, 50. And TC is 1. Dear Mr. Wizard, please fix that. All right. 75 is the next bet. The count goes to 2. Another one? Okay, so it's 200. And the count is 1. Oh! Well, we don't do anything about it. I mean, even shitty bloody pushes like that, we don't mess with. Maybe. There we go. That's called poetic justice, Mr. Wes. Player back to 25. That was 1. And that's 0. So I've only done 60, 80. I don't quite know how many to do with this. But it's certainly teaching me something. Mostly that I have more patience than I thought I did. D 50 0. Yeah, the turbo is completely buggered, isn't it? 200 is the third bet. Still 0. I'll take that, but I have to stamp. That was nice. And we're back to 25. And the count goes negative. Next one is 50. Count is -2. Yes, I used to hit 13 against a 2 and I got such grief over it that I had to give it up. That's a repeat. Still -2. Back to the min. -2. Double down. Oh, very nice. You better not. Yes. 50 -2. Oh dear. 100 -2. Don't mind me talking to himself, please. Repeat. -3. That was a bit cheeky, wasn't it? What the hell is going on with the turbo? Back to the min. -1. $50 -2. Repeat. -3. Oh dear. Okay, so that's 1, 2, still -3. Just right. It's a deal of 22 again, isn't it? You can see why they invented that scurrilous, thieving, amoral bloody variation. It's because they got tired of losing with 22. Oh God, they are such thieves, greedy bastards. Player. And they think they're running a legitimate business, you know. Okay, back to the min. Still -2. We're at another 21 minutes right now. Yeah, I'm going to let this be a long one. I'm going to do another shoe after this. But we're 5,525 ahead at the moment. We haven't actually had too much excitement. I think the biggest bet, I think the most we had on the table was 4,000. Oh, how rude. Obviously, the next one is 0. Next one is 100. Still 0. And the next one is 300. Still 0. Oh dear. Ugh. Okay. Okay, so that was 235386 dropping. Still zero. Oh, Jesus. Still in the drop zone. Count goes to 1. Oh dear, oh dear. I think it's now 9-6. Okay, 600 is the bet. And the plus is 2. 9-6. Oh dear. 15-12. I'm not doing the runaway thing right now. 15-12 until I run out of money down there. 15-12. Still a positive count. That's a double down. Maybe. Bugger! It's all I can say to that. But it's what happens, and we're still on a count, so we repeat that bet. No, we don't. We got a 15-16, I beg your pardon, for the push. Turn it into a turnaround bet. 15-16. Oh dear. That did not work. 15-16. That's only the second loss. So that's going to be 31-35, which could drive us out of this particular place we're at. But I'm going to pause again. All right, so here we are into part 3. The next bet is going to be 3,500 because we're 3,100 down and we're into big chips now. So to sort of like piddle around with hundreds at this point in the game is a bit silly. So 31-35. And this sort of like pausing thing is pretty handy, at least as far as I'm concerned, because I can tell you right now we've had 71 winners and 63 losses, which means that we've had some soft shoes. They've been kind to us. A couple of little tricky bits. But now the kind of inevitable is happening, and that is that the game sort of starts to go back to its negative expectation, its numerical expectation, if you like. And so it's getting a little tougher now. But I'm going to play this straight the way through and then just string all these things together. And, you know, those of you who want to reject it because you say, oh, well, this is just a sim, it's not the real thing. I mean, you know, I'll just say it again. Do the work, guys. You know, look into it yourself. Examine it as closely as you like. Put it through all kinds of hoops, and you will find that this is a dead honest, dead accurate, very clever, very useful simulation. And thank you, Mike Shackelford, is all I can say. So going right ahead. We've only got 7,500 left in the kitty, so this is kind of a critical bet. Off we go. That ain't going to do it, is it? Oh, look at that. 31, 35. So we're now on 66, 35. And going back down to the minimum, and the count is still 2. Now, the minimum here, lots of people will say, well, you couldn't possibly go from a $3,500 bet to a $25 bet. The reason I don't bother to move is that in the end, the numbers are not affected by jumping from one shoe to another, from one table to another, and all the rest of it. Every time you move, you do it for your sake, for your mental well-being, to keep your stress levels down, to make you more comfortable, to get a chance to evaluate, get perspective and all the rest of it. And as I often say, remember that the cards have absolutely no notion of the numbers involved, the bets involved. They're not affected. And even if they could think, well, if they could think, we wouldn't have these games, would we? We'd have cards that were saying, don't be so bloody ridiculous. That's a daft bet, and all that sort of thing. But anyway, they don't. So we're on 31, 35, so 66, 35. So we might as well call that 7,000, 7,000, 4,000, I think is the way to go from now on. So I'll just write that in here, 7, 4, x 1,000. And we'll make our big bet. Back to the min. No turbo, it's terrible. Okay, so we won that one. And we've just got one shot at 3,500. No, one shot at 4, so 7, 4. Oh boy. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's terrible. And that was at 2, wasn't it? So we can't do our 8,000. So the next bet is 8,000, and we've got to move to another table. Picture yourself being in a casino now, and you're saying, okay, we've got to move into high roller territory now. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this so that we go to tables where the minimum is 1,000 and the maximum is 100,000, right? So we're on 11.8. Maybe we better go 5,000 to 100,000. And the next bet, 11.8. Damnation. Oh, God. So that's another dealer win. So we go to 1916. Remember, the cards don't know what's at stake. 11.8, 1916. Damnation. Beaten again. So that's 35. 16, and we got to drop to 5,000. And we're still on a 0 count, so we got to bet the minimum now, which is 5. 35.16, but we've forced to bet 5. That's a wash. That's a -1. And we repeat the bet. Unbelievable. Okay, so finally up. So 35.16. Well, since we're dealing in 5,000s here, we've got to call that 30.16 now. Damn it. It's rubbish, isn't it? Oh, no, that's just rude. 36, so that's 46.32. So I think we better call that 50.35 with a 0 true count. We don't have a lot of money left, do we? But we're just going to persist with this, just as a very critical, seminal demonstration. 35, 60, 30, 60. So 46.32, 50.35. It's a good thing I got my little trusty notebook here, isn't it? That's a shitload of money, isn't it? 50.35. Oh boy, can't do a double, which is where this sim lets us down, because that would be a perfect double. Well, we're going to stand on that. And there we go. And that double would have won it. But we have to take it as a single because I can't do anything else about it. So 50.35 gives us 15.20 now, and we're still on a 0. So that's what we'll do, 15.20. $35.40, still on count of 0. Oh dear, 35.40. Well, we're going to have to just do it again, aren't we? Still 0, and repeat the bet. And now we got a double, and that's all we got. Oh dear. That's bad news. Well, I'm going to persist with this anyway. So that's a no. So 35.40, which is 115.80. And obviously that's going to be a 0. So I'm just going to get out of here. So going to a new table, right? Well, I don't know why I'm kind of trembling here because it's not real money, but it's an important demonstration in my opinion. Okay, so we got to go 115.80. And we're stymied in a sense by the sim simply because it won't let me go into serious high roller territory. So we've just got to kind of make do, and that's all I can do. Okay, so what did I say? 115.80. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, so 115.80, and now we're on 195, and we can only go 100. And we're still on 0. I've got to go 195, 100. So I've got to put in here, we've got plus 20,000 left in our bankroll there, right? And then we're going to go 195, 100 at the next one. So remember the 20,000. 195, 100. That'll help. Thank you. So that was a blackjack. 0. The next one is -1. So we just got 150 back. So we got 45.50 at -1, right? At least we got a bit of money in the tank now. 45.50 at -1. Cross your fingers, folks. This is a turnaround bet. Okay. Now we got to go 95, 100,000 -1. Well, will you look at that? Okay, I think that finishes the whole story, don't you? It's been a long session, that's for sure. Should I stand on that? Okay. I'll have to do the sums later because you don't want to hear my brain ticking over and creaking. But we ended up with a very nice profit there. 370,000 in this kitty, remembering the 20,000 that we just walked away from. We obviously would not have walked away from it. We'd have just picked it up and put it in our deep pockets. So there you have it, and end of story. And I will do the full summary and then put this up as my sort of signature blackjack session, because it really has been pretty bloody hairy. But please don't tell me I got lucky. I didn't get lucky. These are the numbers. This is how the game goes. And if you have the money, and if you have the belief, and if you have the strategy, then you can overcome. You will come out ahead. But if you don't have, if you just have a strategy and no money, you're screwed. And if you just have a shitload of money like Dana White and the 23 million he won in 3 weeks at Baccarat, lying pig. Sorry, I didn't say that. If you just have the money and you bet randomly, which is obviously what he does very successfully and brilliantly and completely against all the odds and all the numbers and all the common sense and logic and everything, ho hum. If you have just the money and no plan, then you're screwed that way too. So I'll end up here and then do the summary in a bit. Okay, so I'm caught between the proverbial rock and the hard place with this file, because it absolutely proves everything that I've been trying to say for years and years and years and years. But Unfortunately, it is a player-friendly data set, which means that, well, I don't feel entirely comfortable with it because I'm much happier when I can demonstrate pattern betting, kicking the shit out of a data set, a run of outcomes that is quite clearly player unfriendly. And this is, I mean, this is relevant because it does prove my point, but quite clearly I'm going to have to do at least one more of these sessions, which is in a way a pain, but on the other hand, it kind of focuses everything. It drills down a little bit more to what everything is about, really, with all of these presentations of mine, these demos that are not driven by anything other than a hope that at least a few people out there will forget about trying to beat these casino games without a lot of money behind them. And most of us don't have a lot of money behind us. So, we have to do the best we can. And doing the best we can is basically suicide, because ultimately we're going to be blown away by it's not mechanics, it's the numbers of the game. I mean, here we had, as you can see from the flat representation here, we had a slump at first and then kind of settled down, and then we got a big player run here and then a slump, then a player run, a little bit of a slump, another player run, and then where the numbers tried to straighten out. But the other problem that I have with this set is that it ended with two naturals very close together for a very large amount of money. And they are obviously included in the video that's attached to this particular presentation. But it's not normal to get that kind of timing. I mean, it is normal in the sense that it can happen, it does happen, it will happen, it happens again and again. And the funny thing with, people like Mr. Handpay and Cody Burnett and what Steve Will Do It and others like that is that they behave as if getting a sudden gift like this is some kind of skill, some kind of brilliance on their part. And of course it's not. It's just sheer randomness. But I'm not completely comfortable with it simply because, who gets that lucky? I mean, it's shown in the video. The videos are unedited. I have no control whatsoever over Mike Shackelford's blackjack simulation. I have a couple of little complaints about it, but nothing desperately serious. The one thing I know about it for sure is that it's deadly accurate, completely reliable, and anybody who claims otherwise without offering any kind of proof is, Alexa, stop, is, an idiot. It's that simple. I mean, they may well be an idiot who's taking money from the casino, so they're not that idiotic, but 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 I do see that. But in this particular data set, it's really not ideal. It will go into the archive. It will be posted, obviously. Otherwise, the 2 or 3 of you who are listening to this would not be able to listen to this. But it's there. It matters, and let's just go down through it. I mean, here we've got the standard thing, the turnarounds, the sort of the nasty little bits that we struggle a bit because the cards go against us, and then we just patiently wait and we turn around, and it's like, and this last thing, I mean, this is just horrendous, and it's summarized over here: 17 losses, 6 wins, right? 280,000 or 281,000 almost in losses, 340,000 in wins. the win eventually was 9.6% of my total action. The house edge against us was nearly 41%. So, excuse me, the indicated result there was a loss of 253,000. But we don't do that. I mean, that's not what we're about here. And this is not a fun and game strategy. It is fun to win, of course, but it's not about fun and games. It's about doing to the casinos what the casinos do to all of us. They exploit us. What we're doing is we're saying, okay, these are the numbers. These are the opportunities. Take it or leave it. But if you play this way, and you can only win with progressive betting, but if it's a sort of unrestrained, hell for leather progressive betting method like the martingale, then that's gonna come a cropper eventually. And let's have a look here and just have again and see how many. Well, we had -7 and then a isolated win, and then -3 and an isolated win, and another -3 isolated, blah 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 blah. And then here we got this huge bonus which turned us around. And really the point of this strategy is to make sure that we have a decent amount of money out at the right time. We don't know in advance what the right time is, but we know for sure that if we don't have good money out there, then if we do hit a streak in our favor, we won't make the most of it. And it's back to the old thing about the sort of 50-foot hole and the 10-foot ladder. I watch these guys on YouTube doing it over and over and over again. Vegas Matt is particularly silly about it because he hit a winning streak of 6 or 7 consecutive wins and do nothing with it. Just 500, 500, 500, 500. I mean, for goodness sake, man, but it's your money, do what you want. But just please don't set yourself up as some kind of a role model. I mean, Vegas Matt pretends that he's not promoting gambling, that he's showing people that gambling is irresponsible and crazy and blah, 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 and turning people away who might otherwise be tempted to gamble. Well, if that was true, he wouldn't get anything out of the casinos. They don't believe that. And I don't think he does either. I mean, as I've said in the past, he's like a guy doing a daily video from McDonald's where he does nothing but fill his face with milkshakes and Big Macs and fries and all the stuff, and then says at the end of it all, I'm not promoting fast food. I'm not promoting unhealthy eating. Come on. I'm showing people that they shouldn't eat like this. That's what he's doing, and it's ridiculous. Anyway, there you are. That's me ranting again. Here we have the situation with the count, and it doesn't look good for the count at all. We got a win of 89,700 from negative true count, loss of 19,000 from neutral true count, and well, it's all self-explanatory up there. I mean, you got 1 is +1 true count, 1 is 1,175. Okay, let's say 1,200. +2 true count cost us 9,600. +3 true count won 2,638. So on the whole, it's crap. And the reason now that we've got 100% showing here is that because I have been very carefully recording the count for every single round, instead of taking out the big money bets and just concentrating on them. What I'm doing now is every single bet I've got the count recorded, and I find it fascinating. I mean, it's a good exercise for me. It's very long-winded. It's now 2:30 in the afternoon. I've been doing this for like 4 hours, I think, this session. But I think it's worth it, I mean, my mission quite simply is to just put the facts out there and say to people, if you can't afford to win, don't bet. Save your money. Spend it on your kids. Spend it on holidays. Spend it on a new car. Spend it on blah, 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 whatever. Don't give it to the casinos. They don't need it, But there are people who think that losing is fun. They're mad, in my opinion, but hey. And going over to this side again, just for a moment. Here we've got The first one -6, so 6 losses, 3 wins. Indicated loss was 780, 770. We made it through that one. This one was -5.6, so that was a player edge of 9.1%. So nothing very clever about that one. This one was again a player edge, so I can't say whoop-de-doo there, can I? And then we come down here to the I think this one, yeah, this is the last one, which was horrible. -17 +6. House edge of 41%, but we kicked ass anyway. But then, you know, those two naturals, beautiful though they were. Well, you know, I've got to do another one of these at least because that's not. I've got to be fair to the casinos because they're so kind to us. They worry about us. They want us to know exactly what we're up against, and they want us to have all the information at our fingertips. And then they hand us a chair and a noose and give us a gentle push. So there we go. Anyway, enough of that. I'll be back.